You live in Grove?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
This problem.
What's the temperature?
Call this meeting to order. Notice of a regular meeting, May 11, 2026 at 5 p.m. City Council Chamber, 3947 Lincoln Avenue in Groves, Texas. Would you all rise for the prayer and pledge, please?
Father, we'll give you thanks for this day. Father, we ask of you for the guidance for each of us here on this council and as well as the audience. Father, we also ask of you that you'll bless each and every one of us here today and all the first responders. Through Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. Also, we'll have a roll call. City Clerk
Mayor Bourne,
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gay. Here. Councilmember McAdams.
Here.
Councilmember Shalit,
Here.
Councilmember Holmes.
Here. Yeah, welcome everyone. Item 6 is the reports.
Mayor and Council, we do have a report from, Clint Budwine of our Public Works Department.
It's on the item.
Oh, it is on
We have an
there?
item.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it on there. So, other than that, no report, sir.
No reports. Item 6, citizen comments. Any citizen comments? All right. Was item 7, sorry. Item 7, citizen comments. Item 8, deliberate and act on the minutes of the April 27, 2026 city council meeting.
I'll make a motion, we deliberate and act to approve the minutes of the April 27, 2026 city council meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to deliberate and act on the minutes of the April 27, 2026 city council meeting. Do I have any questions? No questions, we'll vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Mayor Pro Tem Gay. Councilmember McAdams.
Aye.
Councilmember Shalit.
Aye.
Councilmember Holmes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9, here deliberate on the presentation of the Freeze and Nichols regarding the comprehensive plan. This is an informational only and has been moved to the June 8th, 2026 city council. So no need for a table of that. Now deliberate and act on the request by the Groves Pecan Festival to operate and expand the beer garden during the 2026 Groves Pecan Festival.
I make a motion, we deliberate and act on a request by the Groves Pecan Festival to operate and expand the beer garden during the 2026 Groves Pecan Festival.
Second the motion.
Have a motion and a second to deliberate and act on a request from the Groves Pecan Festival to operate and expand the beer garden during the 2026 Groves Pecan Festival. On to question. Mr. Lamson, Ms. Lisa. Go ahead.
If y'all don't mind, I'd like to read a letter. I think y'all have a copy that I'd like for everybody in the room to hear.
Yes, please.
Dear members of the City Council, on behalf of the Groves Chamber of Commerce, we respectfully request the city's permission to expand the beer garden area during this year's Groves Pecan Festival. Over the past 3 years, beer garden sales and attendance have continued to grow, demonstrating strong community engagement and support for this portion of the festival. We propose expanding of the beer garden to include the band stage area. Our current fencing layout will remain in place, and the attendees will stay within this existing fencing until 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. This schedule will ensure that all youth group activities are completed before the expanded beer garden area opens to the stage. By allowing this expansion, we believe the festival will attract larger crowds and enhance the overall experience of attendees. The chamber plans to use this increased revenue to secure larger band performances, responding directly to community requests for more high-profile entertainment. To maintain safety and the compliance, The expanded beer garden will have 2 controlled entrances, each monitored by a Groves Police Department officer throughout operating hours. The chamber remains fully committed to providing a safe, family-friendly environment for all festival visitors. We appreciate your consideration of this request and your continued partnership in making the Groves Pecan Festival a success for our community. Thank you.
Mayor and council, Mr. Lamson got us a revised map this morning. It is not in your packet, but it is on the desk here. I do have it up on our screen as well. If I might say that, we had, when Mr. Caruth gave the map to myself and to, Marshall Robin, I had some concerns about it ourselves. Went down there with, the Assistant Fire Marshal Paul Washburn. My biggest, concern was, the amount of exits that we did not have in the original proposal. So we asked to have 2 emergency gates, and some, to facilitate exits in case of a true emergency. These will only be accessible in case of an emergency. They will, have an emergency exit only sign on there. During the time frame that alcohol will be allowed on both parts of the fencing, we will have a chamber personnel volunteer will be manning that, and it will be closed at all times to prevent people from going in and out of that gate with alcohol. But if there is an emergency, they will open it up and let it go. One of the things that I had to get with, Public Works on, if you notice that sidewalk right here, it exits out to the parking lot. Well, we did have a curb stop right here. And I talked with, Troy Foxworth. They are going to remove this curb stop right here for permanent. And during the festival, there will be a no parking sign in this particular parking spot so that there is easy access to the parking lot in a true emergency case right there. So on the fire and emergency management side, I believe they addressed that. One of the things that I wanted to point out too is that I did bring up in the meeting, they usually have porta potties over here in the parking lot side. Porta potties have now been moved to the inside, so people do not have to go in and out of this area to use the facilities. They were very gracious in doing that as well. Yes, ma'am.
I did send you an addendum to that. There is 3 that's gonna be in that curve back there.
Okay, I did not see that addendum yet, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
And those ones, if you'll notice especially, that's exactly where you guys have a station at,
Mhm.
and the ambulance and the police.
Yeah.
Those are actually gonna go on the Lincoln side,
They'll move further,
further.
Further away.
West,
across,
yeah.
totally other side of the park.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so there'll be some over here in this curve area.
That's
Yes,
correct.
there'll be 2 there with a third one being a handicap,
Clear
same.
Right in here.
That's
Right
where
in
the
the
original
curve
ones
area.
were. That's right.
At the top.
There will be no porta potty within the actual confines of.
No,
the-
No, you'll be able to go outside either gate.
So they addressed the concerns that I had and, Chief Washburn. Marshall Robin was not able to attend the meeting, but he had Lieutenant Hudson, address some issues. So I didn't know if you wanted to present that as well, Chief.
Not necessarily.
Marshall, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Unless there's some questions, we're happy to address any of
Okay.
them. But, we did work together and, had a lot of good discussion.
So the 2 exits or the 2 gates where the sidewalk,
Mhm.
is the current sidewalk there. So after 6 o'clock, you said you'll have, police at both of those gates, officers at both of those gates.
Yeah, there's usually an officer at the one gate that goes into the existing beer
And
garden.
that is at the cost of the chamber
Correct,
The chamber and,
or
yeah.
whoever's running.
correct.
Officer Hudson did have an issue, asked to put some roping up along this part of the sidewalk here to facilitate, no loitering. You'll have an entrance somewhere in here to where you can go easy from the gate to here. And that way, with leaving that sidewalk open, it'll be easier access
For traffic going back and forth.
Yeah, so people don't just hang out.
They either gotta stay in the beer garden side or get across over to the bands.
If I may.
Yes.
And also, those being officers will have radios, they'll be able to communicate. So let's say there's some officers on the amusement side that need to get to the other side. Those officers will make sure that with that roping and fencing, that way is clear, they'll be able to move on through and it'll proceed as normal afterwards.
And the idea is that we will not be restricting access to the stage area, especially during the times when pre 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday and on Sunday before 2, so that any of the normal confest, the choirs, the dances, the armators, all of that will still be accessed with no
No
alcohol
alcohol involved in that
until
area.
all of those activities are finished.
That's correct.
And then you close it off just for the bands Friday,
Just
Saturday.
before the
and
band start.
Sunday. I'm assuming, and I'm gonna say that, I'm assuming that, y'all taking into account, with more sales, more wider area, more trash. So
More garbage cans.
we've communicated with Public Works for the need for more trash cans and also the manpower to keep those empty and from overflowing.
That's
That has
a-
been addressed as well.
We have not addressed that. We do have that meeting before festival, and that's when that stuff is decided. But it also comes to an effect with how big of the dumpsters and how many dumpsters, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50,
Gallons.
Yeah.
Whether you have a dumpster or not, if the can's full, it's
Yeah,
gonna make a mess.
exactly.
So
Yeah, but
you
we
have to
have
get it
that.
out whether you have a dumpster or not.
every year, that scheduled meeting, and we decide how many we're gonna need.
We'll have somebody assigned and that's their duty as a volunteer, just strictly for that.
Yes, actually, the city, we do pay for those services and, through Public Works and for the police. And we have a meeting with all of us a few weeks, a month before this happens, and we decide how many we need, where it needs to go, and make sure that it's covered. And we do that same thing with the porta potties. Normally, we have 4 down there in that little corner. We're putting 6 out, and there will be the 3 that we're putting over here. One of them will be handicapped, and the 3 that we're gonna put over there, one of them will be handicapped.
Okay, the question, as far as first responders coming into the fenced in area, like for EMTs or whatever, how are they gonna access in and out? They just gonna go through the sidewalk gates as well as the emergency gate?
When you see where the porta potties were gonna go, right there, that is where our ambulance,
To the left side of the beer garden.
yes, to the left side.
Those will move now, porta potties further over.
But that's where the ambulance stays. That's where the fire department has their station.
So if something happens in the actual
Where
park,
the department has their
I
substation.
was worried about the inside fenced in area as far as
We,
that.
yeah, we should be able to get in there, Mr. McAdams. Because we could go in through these, exit only gate, the emergency exit gates if we needed to. And then plus with having that, police officer there, they should be able to help facilitate us a quick entry in there.
There's also a larger gate down about where the band entrance
Yeah.
is
That's
also
correct.
as well,
The,
which is normally where the fire department guys hang out. I say hang out, where they're on duty. Sorry.
the band entrance, this gate for the band entrance right here.
Right.
Will be locked once the band is in and done, and it'll be unlocked for somebody else to move out.
Yeah.
And then this other gate back here that you see in the beer garden, that's where the tables are, so there's no really entrance and exit back there either, for public.
not for the public.
So that's, we feel that's secure. Go ahead, Marshall Robin.
Yes, sir. I feel that with the roles, and I don't want to speak for Lance, but I'm sure we'll have some emergency management meetings well before we begin, because we like to plan for these types of events. We'll explore that and obviously train those officers into their role at either gate. So whether it be EMTs, whether it be fire, we're all on those radio stations scanning and listening. There won't be any problem getting EMTs through or inside that area if needed.
We've had this for the last 3 years.
Three years. We go on 4 years.
Marshall Robin,
Yes, sir.
in the 3 years that we've had it, have we had any issues that needed to be addressed, or has it been?
We've had a few individuals that we've had say, hey, remember, this is the gate, can't go beyond this.
Haven't had any
But-
major things,
Nothing
people
that,
have behaved,
yes, sir, absolutely.
that's all.
And this is more eyes there, not less.
Yes.
Now, bigger area, of course.
Yes,
but
sir.
more eyes and more strategic planning towards it, in my opinion, than previous.
Can you guys speak to, the youth events happening and then it's beer and band time? Is that how the schedule works in this matter?
The Faith Praise and Worship Night is Thursday. Beer garden is not open.
Okay.
None of that. We do have a professional, performance coming in this year.
Gotcha.
And that's a heavily more youth, oriented type event. And there's no beer garden whatsoever on that night. The only other nights, yes, it's a cutoff time. Whenever it's time for the bands to even start warming up, it's shut off time for, as far as, those other performances before beer can be served.
The last activities, I think, are usually at around 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
We won't expand it open until 6. You'll be able to come in until 6.
But the normal beer garden will still be
That'll
operating
still be operating.
at normal hours.
That's right.
Anyone after those particular hours, anyone that has in possession of alcohol still has to have the wristband.
Oh, definitely. You'll have to go into the beer garden, the original beer garden, to get ID
Yes, sir.
and band it.
Okay.
And that, all the beer sales will still
That
be in there.
clarification is still there.
That is correct. And it's, the sales still stay where they were.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm just,
Right.
Yeah.
We're expanding the walking area,
That's
not the
the-
buying
not the
area.
sale area.
okay. Yeah, I understand bring more entertainment in. I just don't want that to be at the cost of kids and families.
Not at
that
all.
way, that's,
Just-
That's the whole reason we did it. Kept
Thank you very much.
the original garden.
I originally got the map without the letter,
The letter explains a lot.
and I was a no on the map until I got the letter.
they were
I
all.
mean, we're-
The letter helps. The
We
letter
have
helps a
to try
lot.
to make both sides happy.
Yes.
And even those people that drink beer, like myself, I don't think it's right for us to be in there drinking beer while 6th grade or dance team's going, and we don't want to
No.
do that.
And it also allows, taking that families are there in the evenings, and it gives them, like, we added, Cajun Sundays. Everybody was out there dancing, and so and the people from the beer garden wanted to move into that area, but they couldn't take their beer out of the beer garden, so.
We have a Cajun Sunday.
We
Oh,
do.
we are.
Be
we
proud.
are.
Okay.
It's,
Jack.
Leroy Thomas.
You're right, Thomas. Okay. Just as good.
Any other questions, concerns, comments?
That's right. You couldn't do.
As far as comments go, I've attended, I've been a part of it, I've worked it. I feel like it's been a pleasant addition to the Con Festival. The only complaint so far has been, I wish it was a little bigger. Maybe this will help a little bit, but, controlled growth is the process. And, I appreciate y'all putting this together and getting the information and doing the legwork. It makes our job a little easier. So
And one
thank
thing
y'all
we,
again.
we do see a lot of is the families that come in and sit in the beer garden just so they can eat their food with their kids. The strollers, how many strollers I see go in and out of there, just so they have somewhere under cover to sit and eat their food. So it's not just beer drinkers that are taking advantage of this.
And on behalf of Marshall, Robin, and myself, I want to thank the chamber for working with us on our concerns.
Sure.
To, take those into consideration and
Absolutely. Well, they were valid,
reevaluate.
Yeah, they're
they
all
were
great
valid
ideas.
things that helped us.
Great
Thank you.
ideas.
And you will have the TV there in case we're watching Indian.
We'll have that going again.
That's a separate group that does that.
Okay. Join us.
We'll bring Richard to the next meeting.
Richard. Okay, last call for questions. No other questions, we'll vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Mayor Pro Tem Gay,
Aye.
Councilmember McAdams. Councilmember Gillette,
Aye.
Councilmember Holmes.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. So 11, hear and deliberate on the presentation of residential sanitation route audits. This is informational only. Mr. Budwine.
Mayor and council, thank you for this opportunity. Kevin's proactive leadership challenged all the directors to look at our day-to-day operations. And in the solid waste department, we conducted a garbage can audit. In doing so, we identified some 252 addresses with multiple carts that were only paying for one. We started picking up extra carts and tagging houses to call solid waste. And when the residents would call, we'd inform them that they were only paying for one cart, and if they wanted additional carts, they would need to go to City Hall, water billing, and put a $45 non-refundable deposit. And this deposit's for repair or replacement if damaged. And then an additional $15 would be added to their garbage collection on their water bill. Then a work order would be made to deliver additional carts. A resident can have a maximum of 3 carts per city ordinance. And currently, the city charges $22.26 per month for one cart. And then if you have an additional carts, it's $15 per cart. And then from our audit, those 252 addresses at $15 per cart equals $3,780 a month. Over a 12-month period comes out to $45,360 per year of lost revenue. We have put some additional procedures in place after our audit. The city will conduct audits more frequently on a more frequent basis. When occupancy changes or turn off of water services, we will check for carts and only leave one. That's what part of it is people moving in and out, and maybe they had 2 carts and they didn't get picked up. So we're also putting the ID numbers from each cart that is assigned to the address of that account. The garbage carts are assigned to addresses, not to the person that lives there. Those carts should remain with that address. And to help monitor our carts, this year we purchased green and brown carts with our city logo on it. And the green carts will be at every address, which means they're paying for one cart. Additional carts will be brown, identifying paying for additional carts. And we're still in the process of getting brown carts to addresses that are already paying for their additional carts, but we'll get there. And then we will also budget for carts to replace old and damaged ones, and they'll be green and brown again this year. We'll constantly be budgeting for that because we've got some carts out there that are 18, 20 years old that are breaking. They've served their time.
Smashed by the big arm truck too. We replaced the big arms though. We got the little arms
We
now.
went down a little more. In addition to the garbage carts, solid waste, we're enforcing the city ordinance of 2 cubic yards per week for bulk or dry trash collection. Can identify 2 cubic yards is basically 6 foot long, 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide. So if you look at your washer and dryer standing side by side, basically that's 2 cubic yards. And our drivers write down oversized piles on their routes daily so we can measure the piles, tag the house with a dollar amount for removal, plus phone number to call with any questions. The city currently charges $15 plus tax per cubic yard over the 2 yards allowed. So in doing this, our city employees are proactive in providing services to our citizens and keeping our city clean. Please help us achieve our goal. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Any questions for Glenn?
No, I had a comment.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a larger pile than normal. I was wondering why the woman didn't pick it up. I've lived there 37 years. I'm like, why didn't you pick it up? I had a conversation with it. I think I talked to Troy. You were on vacation. I just want to tell you, the gentleman was very complimentary. He was very polite. Gave me your card. So kudos to that gentleman. It didn't cost me too much for you to come pick it up.
And I'll stumble
Appreciate it.
through it, and I don't know, Glenn may not have been here back then, I think Troy was, but we used to be able to sell our green waste to a chipping company that sold it to other places, correct?
Correct.
And when that stopped and they were gonna start charging us for it to decrease the number of trips to the landfill is when we actually started enforcing the 2 cubic yards. That was still an ordinance, but it wasn't being enforced because it wasn't costing the city any more money. But once it started costing money, we have to at least try to break even. And you can fill up a dumpster and take it to the dump and you pay for it. So that's kind of how that happened. Is I guess the people who used to chip it for free and take it, when they stopped, we had to start charging for it. And we also started making the tree companies remove all the trees when they cut them down, instead of just leaving them in the ditch.
That they were supposed to do that with their permit, tells them that if a tree company comes in, they are to remove what they cut down, they're getting paid for it,
So if
so.
they stack it in the ditch, we know they probably didn't get the permit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's why we tag different places and, let them know. And talking about your green waste, your piles, we always, tell them, don't mix the piles because they go in 2 different locations. Your bulk trash, our routes run the first time they come through on that day, they pick up bulk that goes out to the port off the landfill. Then we come back and pick up our green waste, which goes out to our north plant. We stack that there until, we have it contracted out to mulch it up.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Public Works, for
Right.
your efforts and trying to save us some money. Item 12, deliberate and act on ordinance 2026-10, amending chapter 11, article 4, sections 11 through 37, 11 through 46 of the Code of Ordinances to align with chapter 437B of the Texas Health and Safety Code.
I'll make a motion, we deliberate and act on ordinance 2026-10, amending chapter 11, article 4, sections 11 through 37 and 11 through 46 of the Code of Ordinances to align with chapter 437B of the Texas Health and Safety Code.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to deliberate and act on ordinance 2026-10, amending chapter 11, article 4, sections 11 through 37 through 11 through 46 of the Code of Ordinances to align with chapter 437B of the Texas Health and Safety Code. On the question, Mr. Monk, this is what we talked about in the workshop, the new rules for food trucks.
Correct.
You want to give us a brief breakdown of, you took our information and put it into the code, right?
Correct. Largely, we are keeping our ordinance intact. The restrictions for zoning will be kept in place. The fire inspections will be kept in place. The site inspection requirements will be kept in place. What is going away from the city side is that we will no longer issue the license. The state will issue the license. We will charge a $100 fee to register that license here. And that's the extent of the regulation in terms of the licensing aspect from the city, because the state's taken that over.
So we're going from a permit to just a registration, registration.
Correct.
On our end. And everything else is remaining the same. So C2 is still a specific use. C3 is by, we also have the land use, restrictions as well, where the landowner has to come and get the application for, okay. Did anybody have any issues? That was anybody here not here for that workshop? Okay, I couldn't remember which one. Did anybody have anything else from that workshop that they thought was gonna be in this or want to talk about?
So my question, Mayor, is which department is handling, at the city is handling, food truck stuff?
That is through our billing official.
There is a component for fire inspections, but the building official is where you would get your site inspection done and your certificate issued.
And at that point, he would probably reach out for the fire inspection
Correct, yes, sir.
after he's done his preliminary.
So,
So it'll run through building inspections. Yeah.
so as far as a follow-up, do we need,
No longer. That's the state piece.
do we need any more, documentation as far as what our permitting process is with the city? We need to follow up with any, like pamphlet or anything for food truck owners?
I could look at that and see if there's some more information that we can provide that would be sort of a summary of the
Yeah.
ordinance. I could look at that.
Troy, do you know if Don was working on that through GovWell?
I believe he was, yes, sir.
At this point,
They're-
other than the cost of it, their process is exactly the same.
It's largely unchanged in terms of what the city's been doing.
Instead of a permit, they get a registration.
Piece where they'll need more guidance will probably be the piece where it's changed for the state side of it. And
Well, if they're operating out of the jurisdictions, I'm sure they're in compliance with that. I just
correct.
think it, as far as sharing information with, these food truck owners, you know, all the information summarized in one document, or if it, you know, I'm assuming it'll be a different permit, you know, the paperwork looks slightly different than it used to. I'm just asking, do we need any follow-up documentation wise?
I would venture to say that Don is working with GovWell to put it on the website. When you go, when they go to that permit for food trucks,
Gotcha.
it should all be in that one,
Yeah, that new,
component.
that new site seems to work well, so, okay. I just, you know, want to make it easy for folks to bring business and services in the city.
That's the main goal behind that new website, and that GovWell as also.
Any other questions or concerns with the ordinance? Okay, being no questions, we'll vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Mayor Pro Tem Gay.
Aye.
Councilmember McAdams.
Aye.
Councilmember Shalit.
Aye.
Councilmember Holmes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 12, deliberate and act on the May 11th, 2026 invoice list.
I make a motion, we deliberate and act on the May 2026 invoice list.
Have a motion and a second, deliberate and act on the May 11th, 2026 invoice list. On the questions?
Mayor and council, the invoice list for May the 11th, 2026. Amber Estates subdivided rebates, $9,324.77. City of Port Arthur landfill fees for March of 2026, $20,560. Core and Main, fire hydrants, $40,030. City Transportation Infrastructure Platform, $7,500. Frontline Mobile Health, physicals and screenings for firefighters, $9,500. Groves Chamber of Commerce, quarterly payment, $6,444.28. I'm sorry, $17,500. Thank you, Mayor. SHI Solutions, Sonic Wall Renewal, $6,444.28. SHI Government Solutions, iPads for council, DIOS, EDC reimbursement, $6,583.92. US Bank purchasing card payment, $6,478.16. Vulcan Construction Materials, Street Rock, $9,306.47. And Wex Bank Fuel for Fleet Vehicles, April 2026, $25,424.73 for a total of $158,652.33.
On the questions?
Bill,
Yes, sir.
the fire hydrant, how
Yes, sir.
many is the quantity we're getting for 40,000, 30,000?
That would be Glenn. He handles that in conjunction with correlation with me.
This is a budgeted item from last year, which we're going on a program. We're ordering 10 a year, and that's what that paid for. We're working with the chief on designating which ones need to be changed out, and we're just gonna stay on this program and try to budget 10 each year. We'll probably replace 8, keep 2 back for emergency until, we get the next budget year.
second question I have is $25,000 in fuel. With the certain economic things that we're experiencing, how much of a, is that, we have a budgeted process that gives us a little bit, leeway?
We had a little, we always add a little up in the budget.
Okay.
But, Mr. Caruth has, tried to help encourage us to, you know, like with the public works guys, it has been kind of cool, not out of the vehicle on projects and things like that. So we are trying to conserve as much as we can, but now that we are getting into some of the hot months, it's gonna be kind of hard to ask those guys to turn their air conditioners off. So, but we are trying, we do have a little bit of padding in there, but we're trying every chance we get.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? No other questions, vote on the motion, Mayor votes aye, Mayor Pro Tem Gay, Councilmember McAdams,
Aye.
Councilmember Schlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Holmes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 14. City Council hold an executive session pursuant to the provision of chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in section 551.0711A, consultation with attorney when the government body seeks advice of its attorney about pending or contemplated litigation. We will go into executive session at 5:36. Do I have anything? No, Justin. Hopefully this. We'll reconvene into open session at 5:52. We'll move on to item 16, council member comments.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to say, thank you to the staff, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. You guys do a lot of legwork. You do a lot of things behind the scene that, most of the public doesn't see. Very happy with, the services we get in our city. I've lived in other places where, the water, the sewer, and the trash, I didn't get consistent service. So I appreciate those services you bring to us, and the Chamber of Commerce for all the stuff you guys have been doing, especially as it relates to a festival we have in our city. As other cities are letting that community involvement and stuff go away, you guys are building it up and making it better and nicer each year. I just want to say thank you.
I want to say thank you to the ones, that invited me to do the neighborhood walk Saturday. I got picked with, Marshall Robbins's, I guess I was the last person picked for him. Anyway, nobody wanted me, but Troy was there and everything. And it was very, very enlightening when we got to go and knock on doors and get people's very up in front, honest conversations. I can't wait for the final report. For the majority of it, it was positive. Some people had some concerns. We addressed those concerns. We taught them how to, or showed them how they can get the information. And they were just happy that somebody come and knocked on their door and asked them their opinion. And I was very happy with that. And thank you for inviting me. I would be more than happy to participate in any from now on.
Anybody else? Okay, like to let everybody know, May 26th at 7 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall here in Groves. Myself, Kevin Caruth, City Manager, and Public Works will be hosting a town hall. Now, just to clarify, because of our Open Meetings Act and stuff, the other council members will not be in attendance. But if you have questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to reach out to them. They can relay them to us and we can go that route. That night, there will be no agenda other than we will have a small presentation on the water meters, and then we will have an open forum. I welcome everybody. I hope we have enough seats, but everyone is welcome.
What was that location again?
The Girls KC Hall. on Lincoln.
3946, no, that's this.
3749.
3749. Knights of Columbus Hall. On
Just
Lincoln
that
Avenue.
way.
Yeah, two blocks that way.
That's the double check.
Okay. That being said, we will adjourn this meeting at 5:55. Thank you.
Sure, I have a question.